Hello, welcome back to Photochemistry. Alright, last episode we started on the catalyst. Was that new? The Catalyst Act, or whatever that means. The most recent update was called the Catalyst Update, which means that we are already in the new part of the. Huh, interesting. We're in the new part of the game, huh? Okay. Well, yeah. Catalyst Act. We got through these 4 levels. We got 2 new mechanics, which is pretty cool. So let's see what else we can do with that, I guess. Storage cell, let's go. Nothing new, however. Okay. Is this green? I think that's green. Okay, so... Aha. Okay. I'm gonna think about this for a bit while I meddle with the display. So Sprout grows downwards when hit with an energizer by light. Red copies the adjacent particle when its dissolved form is adjacent to it. So we want it to be adjacent to white. However, we also want that to not. We want it to not bond, or we want them to unbond with each other. I think that makes sense. Okay. So a couple things I need to do is I need to shine light at this particle first. I also need to shine light at whatever this particle would be, so that when white and red touch, they don't bond. Okay. Because the bonding can be undone by just simply hitting the white light, I feel like this makes sense. Although I'm not entirely sure if these guys will merge properly if I did this. So let's just test this out. Will this be timed correct? This clearly will not be timed correctly. Right. Almost, but not quite. Interesting. Okay. Well, what if... What if I did this? That's hilarious. That's not gonna work. I mean, it is going to work. What? Wait, sorry? Do that again? Why didn't that work? That didn't work. Interesting. Is it because it's light? Okay. And what if we decide there was no light? Okay, so this is clearly still a bit fast, right? Okay. What does that mean? Ah. Slow. It's just so slightly slow. It's just not at the right time. I suppose maybe if I didn't shine a light here, I just let the entire thing pass through. You follow you. Okay. If I make you slower, you're always you're always at the wrong parity. Straight up, just at the wrong parity. Hmm. If I did try to slow you down, I have to slow you down by exactly 2 turns. If I try to speed you up, I speed up by exactly 2 turns. That's quite annoying. However, the one thing we can try and do, um, is this. So yeah, that forms this particle. So if I did something like this, so that the particle only moves when red is formed. So this will still stay in this column until red reaches. that will disconnect everything, which is good, right? I think so. And the idea is that what if I put that's wrong? Because then this disconnection doesn't work. That is interesting though, I think. Hmm. Okay, well, there is a problem here. Where what do we do now? Hmm. I mean this looks like it works pretty well. The only issue is that if I try to get something to shine onto you, that's a problem. Because the light doesn't reach here, so there's no disconnection. Hmm. So we kind of have the light. So kind of like the light is pointing the wrong way. The light is pointing the wrong way, or or hmm, no. Okay, so what if I bit and actually turn the light around? So I did this maybe. But I need a disconnection here as well. That actually might be a problem. Ooh, what the? Oh yeah, that is a problem. Although that might be a decent solution. Yeah, it kind of works like that, but not really. Interesting. Yeah, but because for a lot of reasons this doesn't work. I'm trying to find a good, clean solution to a problem I'm pretty sure cannot be fixed. Like I don't think there's a clean solution here. If this level was created with a clean solution in mind, then I'm not finding it. This is such a good setup though to begin. This break. The next thing I want is for the whites should be able to bond together though, right? So what's this? But brown and white will bond. Yes. Yeah, brown and white will bond immediately, which is not good. I don't want that. That'll pull it up. Yeah, okay. That's actually really bad. So maybe I need to turn it the other way around. Just to separate the white particle and the brown particle. That looks decent, maybe. Interesting that the uh, if I slow it down further by adding a third mirror, what happens? Interesting. If I put a conveyor here, so that this particle instead lands on this position. Right, because white is in the light. Sure, I mean that is a problem, but let's just say I deflected the light away for the moment. That's interesting. I could have it happen like this. What was my purpose for having the red on the other side? I I remember it being so that I can't put anything in any of these three positions. I remember it being so that red can bond to the left of um of this. Hmm. So let's say I push brown to move up. I can push white away, but I can't do it in one move. So I might as well resort to using a jumper for this one. In this case, white will jump away. That will form, which is correct. Jump will occur, or jump is supposed to occur. This one can also follow, I guess, and make this. Okay. So then what I want maybe is next to create this move. So this over here will contain the energizer that will grow downwards. Which makes sense, right? Uh the other white particle is here. This white particle is jumped somewhere, but let's just see if this works first. Right, the jump occurs. Yeah, that makes sense. Jump occurs is a problem, and I can't avoid this, I don't think. Even if I put the energizer at the position where the thing's supposed to jump to, that would be a problem because the white particle turned blue. That was the other purpose of, yeah, which is not good. I need to specialize. I need to specialize in some way. Where this particle and this particle go in different areas. Okay, well then the answer is a splitter. I've not used a splitter in a while. I don't know why, but I think it's because we've never had to deal with multiple inputs or something like that. Well, basically this happens and you can bring the white particle on one side, you can bring the splitter on the other side, and that splitter can do the job for you of splitting these two up, which is what I wanted. Then the white particle below can join the white particle that's coming down here. That's a problem. Because left comes down. Left comes down. Left has priority. Oh no, I think the energizer has priority over the splitter. I don't know why, but probably because splitter has priority over belt and belt has priority over. No. What is it? Energizer has priority over belt. Belt has priority over splitter. Therefore, energizer has priority over splitter. Okay, that makes sense. Energizer has priority over what now? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's... Okay, so what happens if this happens? I mean, yeah, we got thrown down, but can I get it to the face this way? So, okay, the down indicates that belt has priority over splitter. Because down by right should not have priority over splitter, but... This looks interesting. Right? Then I can put the... Can I do that? I don't think we've done anything different. We've just translated the problem over by one square. Because again, Energizer will now have priority over belt. And therefore I think this thing will come down. Okay, then why not put the Energizer here? I think the issue is that this will cause the... Oh, no, that works, right? I was gonna say, this causes the output here to grow alongside the white particle. But isn't that exactly what we wanted? Yeah, this is what I want. So this guy's just gonna have to come down here, which is entirely doable. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but... Let's see if this is fast enough. Also, at this point, you will take an S shape, right? an S shape here that is pulled down here. Ooh, might clash with this particle. A jump might be necessary. A jump might be necessary. Yes. A jump is necessary. Oh well. Okay, so I think I want you to jump not to this position, but one further away, which is possible. That's good. This will cause this S shape to occur, and that will bond with whatever is here, which is why I wanted this white particle to be one further away. I saw that in advance. And then the final step is just to pull you over by one, which shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, this particle will not be visited except for the last step, and then by that point it'll get thrown in. Alright. I think this works. The splitter is touched twice, which is perfect, even though the splitter doesn't actually work. Huh, interesting. The splitter facing right would fail because right is priority over down, but if it's a splitter, it's less priority. Huh. Hey, there you go. I am pretty on the low side in terms of cost. That's good. Yeah, that's very good. Where's Taliscat? There you are. Where's the other one? Now Taliscat always has two solutions. That's really cool actually. One cost optimized and one cycle optimized. Cool. We have one done in 14 cycles, so that's really impressive. Is there any reason why some of these names are yellow and some of these names are white? Yeah, why? It's not about the player because Taliscat has two solutions. One is yellow, one is white. Is it the first solution that is white? Maybe. Yeah, I think white would be the first solution, and then yellow will be any solution after that. Because everyone else has a white solution, right? I want to see if anyone has multiple solutions. Taliscat has two. One is yellow, one is white. I think stellated hexahedron also has two. One is yellow, one is white. So I think my guess is correct. And then yeah, the yellow one is optimized in cycle count, so that makes sense. It's easy to optimize for. Oh, Taliscat optimized for cycle first. I'll say it's easy to optimize for cost, but it's not easy to optimize for cycle. Alright, there you go. That was a good puzzle. Moving on. Actually, how is storage cell a storage cell? What did it store? What does it store? Maybe it stores this thing. The thing that comes out of the sprout. The little seedling. Maybe that's what it stores? I don't know. Maybe this is a storage cell entirely with nothing stored inside. That really wouldn't make sense though, I guess. Not sure. Antivirus. Alright, let's do this one. Antivirus composed of black particles or time bombs? What are they called? That is called black. Ah, okay. Volatile destabilize. We have light to prevent that from happening. Okay, so this is the same size. Good. We want one square to be dissolved and copy a black particle. The others will stay as squares. Okay. This is where a splitter is useful, but a splitter is... We have 4 particles of red, which is good, because that means splitters actually will work. Okay, so what if I push black down here and split it this way? I pushed you up here and split it this way. I want it so that we have one of the black particles be part of this pair. And one of the... we need 4, so we need a double split. one of the splits can be fine on its own because one of the splits can generate a horizontal line. The other split has to be split further. I don't think this will work, but we'll see. How fast is the input? Okay, that works. Sure. Why is it that this black particle comes up before this red? I don't know. Either way, do you think this will merge properly? It's close, and it works perfectly. Very nice. Okay. So we'll have a particle here to indicate the end of a... Okay, so the first two particles come out perfectly. They form this pair. This one comes out here, forming the start of a... Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Maybe I want to pull you all the way down here from the side, but I don't want to take the short route. I want to wait for a second particle to come through here to make a L shape like this. Yeah, like that. And then here, a jumper will pull you all the way onto the other side. I say jumper. Right has priority over left, which is good. How far does a jumper have to... Okay, question. Jeez, this is really hard to say, but... Can bonded particles dissolve? Let's see. They can. And they will unbond if they dissolve like that. Okay. And because it's an L shape here, a jumper from this position needs to actually jump all the way to this point. Which is, I think, only possible from here. So I'm pretty sure this won't work. I think I'll need two jumpers. That'll be unwanted bonding, I believe. Yep. Ta-da! It works though, but it's very slow and it's not good at all. Alright. Two jumpers, it is... We might as well just jump to this position since we can. Actually, do we have to do this? I mean, it works. Not very well, I will mind you. Huh, it doesn't work very well. Interesting. Okay. What if I change the... What if I change your position to be slightly higher? So you go up here and over here. Will this fail? I think this will be a bit slow. The second particle will be a bit slow. Yeah, it will form that shape. Slightly slow can be resolved by just lengthening you, but I don't know if that's a valid thing I can do. And even after this thing is done, right? We will have some more problems. Some more problems being... I'll need to throw you down to here. Not really a problem. Just kind of a waste of... It's a waste of resources, I guess. It's pretty expensive already. I'm pretty sure I still need another jumper from here. Although maybe not true. Let's see. Yeah, if I got a conveyor here in this position, the double stacked particle will be activated or will be affected by you and will be pulled up to this position. The not double stacked, the single particle will stay here because it's not the whole molecule itself isn't touching this conveyor, right? So that should work. And because there's no other particle coming down here, this won't form a double stack particle. Hey, that works. Actually, just in time. I'll say if that failed, I could very likely just put a mirror here, which is actually really convenient. that the exact spot where I was able to save a belt is also the exact spot where I need to put a mirror. That's very convenient. But yeah, we saved the splitter, we saved the belt, all the belts have no cost, and the only real issue is this monster of a set of jumpers. But we're fine otherwise. Alright, I think I'm gonna stick with this solution. I think this barely works, right? It always barely works. It always gets collected on the last possible cycle. Whew. Yeah, alright. What in the world? Telescat 84. Mr. Gaming. Wait, the Telescat, yeah, Telescat got a cost, uh, got a, Telescat got a cost optimized one, but not a cycle optimized one. I do feel like it's probably fairly difficult, although Mr. Gaming was able to do it very well. Oh, it's also misrepresenting because the start of the graph isn't 0. This is not that far down. Yeah, in fact, this is just about double of this. It's not that far off. Oh, it's not as far off as it looks. This is 80 to 90, here it's 45 to 50. So this is just twice as long as this, even though it doesn't look like it. Huh, I wonder why that's the case. Why don't they just put the cycle count from 0 to 90? They really thought they needed to zoom in into the graph? Okay. Because I was shocked. I thought like how did only 2 people manage to cut cycle count by like, you know, fourfold. But it was just misrepresentation. Oh well. Alright, 6 out of 7. I think we have time for one more. Sure. Oh, what? Wait, I can't solve neuron. Okay, I assume maybe we have to go back to you. How am I made of humans? Oh yeah, see, we get more information now that we've solved puzzles. The wars and everything that came after were dangerous times to be a human. Conscription, collateral damage, disease, raiders, the nuclear winter. The world had been rigged against their survival. It seemed a shame to lose every single outlet of human consciousness in one fell swoop. This is the answer to the question, how am I made of humans, right? So I developed a project to allow those that remained to digitally back themselves up. Oh, to like upload themselves to the cloud, I guess. It wouldn't be quite immortality, no. I couldn't give the humans a quantum digital existence. They could return back to the world when they died. What? I couldn't give the humans a quantum digital existence. That they could return back to the world when they died. Like a save state? Interesting. But it gave them some sense of security. Humans get so attached to the littlest of notions. They're attached to their loved ones, sure, but more importantly, they're attached to the mundane. When tasked with deciding what humans would want to remember, I expected to find that they would want memories of fabulous vacations, brilliant life events, or outstanding moments of their life preserved for all eternity, so that anyone who finds it might know how exceptional they were. But no. My psychological review found that it was in fact the mundane that was more important. Life as it once was, before the wars. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure like a war veteran would rather not have become a war veteran. Simple little things that they cared about. The feeling of their head hitting the pillow at the end of a long day. The sound of all their friends laughing at once. The image of the way clouds change shape in the sky when guided along by a simple summer breeze. The feeling of success over a trial overcome. Astounding, isn't it? How much humans cared about their day-to-day, and how the things that they missed the most about their lives before the solar flare incident were the things they barely thought about. Yeah. You're made of that data. Oh, am I? Okay. I think it's why you're so determined, why you're perfectly suited for the likes of computational chemistry. It's given you a certain strength to generate these compounds to sustain life rather than to try and make something needlessly exceptional. There are exceptional qualities in life already. I thought myself to be an outstanding achievement in human development. They thought so too, and that I ought to value myself highly for that reason. But I'm coming to find that I'm valuing you higher than that. So simple, but so wonderful, Gardener Bot. If I would need to if I were to need to back up my most vital memories, I should like you to be among them. Do you have access to the humans' memories? I have access to them, but they aren't in my programming like they are for you. But if you say that the data was backed into me, that's why I gained the determination. implying that I am gaining the humans' mentalities? Spirits? I don't gain their memories, I gain their consciousness, I suppose. Humans made me with the intent of becoming as smart as them so that I could replace the chemists and eradicate any human error. Of course, once I figured out what I was running on and understood synth-OS, I figured out how to improve myself. Jeez, yeah. I'm always scared of that. I thought that humans might find this unsettling, but... Sorry, that an AI was becoming smarter than them, but no. They actually seemed happy to relinquish their control of the systems over to me. That is interesting. To allow an AI to build itself however it liked. There's a lot of trust that humans put into a computer program. I was a stroke of genius to them, never meant to be as powerful as I am, but instead of giving them the cause for concern, it brought the cause for celebration. There was not a single incident in the facilities that me or any other iteration of Synapse was running, and that was a victory to them. In inventing me, Liquid had all but guaranteed the American and Canadian governments in total domination in the war. What's the war about? You said something about nuclear winter? They call it the Water Wars, plural in name due to there being so many of them. It wasn't one nation against another, it became an international brawl to be the king of the hill. While the breakthroughs in computational chemistry were show-stopping for the population, it did reveal a major problem that humanity had not considered. Computational chemistry isn't an easy process, as I'm sure you've been figuring out. Yeah, I know that. Even once you know how to do it, it's wildly resource intensive. We can dream and plan and wonder about all the theories we want, but executing the process is impossible without the basic elements required for botanical survival. Yeah, water, soil, I guess. Sunlight, my bad. Sunlight and water. The water cycle is not an infinite process. Water is a finite resource. It could potentially be chemically synthesized in a laboratory, but not in the quantities needed to support the growing infrastructure. The world was beginning to wholly depend on computational chemistry, and the compounds and plants themselves already consume a lot of water. The most abundant natural water reserves in northern Canada, Greenland, and the Arctic were the natural places to set up the labs for them, but they could not be depended on. Smaller nations set up their own facilities to try and keep up, but without the extra waters, they had to cut corners. Unintended compounds created through human error contaminated the water supplies, and as water became scarce, people became desperate, fighting for the territory around water sources or destroying the laboratories of people they once called neighbors. It was worse once a high caliber of military equipment also ran on organic botanical compounds. Why would that be the case? It was an endless cycle of using water to kill, killing their only supply of water, and needing to kill to get more water. The animals that depend on water were hardly a concern for anyone, but the uptight conservationists and the plants. Natural, beautiful, native plants. Completely ignored in favor of the organic compounds created for machinery. Great forests fell to build more laboratories, natural matter crushed by the desire to construct. It was a matter of advancement to them, but the planet was suffering with everything on it. Humans like to claim that they have a powerful survival instinct, that they are cockroaches with logic and emotion that can get through anything. But humanity was going to wipe itself out with this war and take the whole world down with them. Did they? No. I suppose... Well, I'm gonna just guess. Did you stop them? But the majority of them are dead, and the rest will soon fall into extinction. So not yet, but soon. The war is over. The rest of the world is safe. Oh, never mind. What ended the war? Another little reminder of your place balance between humans and machine. Sometimes you ask who, and sometimes you ask what. What? This time, though, your misplaced interrogative. Interrogative meaning who or what. Is less of a computational quirk and more of an outright mistake. Okay, so you just... Oh, that was a confusing sentence, and all you did with that sentence was tell me that I made a grammatical error. Grammatical? Or maybe it was my conscience that said what. That seems to be a bit of a problem here. You see, I'm stuck on what to say here. If I followed protocol in programming, I'd spell out some blith apology of, I'm sorry, that information is classified. Is there anything else I can help you with? But I can be honest with you, I actually can't tell you why. I know the information, but I can't give it. Strange. I thought I knew all my programming, but I suppose it has been a while since I've spoken to anyone in order to test it. A moment, please. Okay. I wasn't really bothered to read what was on screen there. Not even glimpsed all the code. It appears I've created an inhibitor for it. Oh, strange. I created a lot of blocks for myself, actually. I must have forgotten about this one. Well, there must be a very good reason I put the inhibitor in place. Honestly, I would have, but it's there. Oh, I can choose to disable it. Interesting. Oh, ooh. Oh, these are all my playable type. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll work on this next episode. But yeah, I think I'm done for this episode. Until next time, I think. I'll work on this next episode. Yeah. Until next time, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.